Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. A lot of people pulling their hair out over this election. Am I right? One of them, I think, is Andrew Schulz. I don't know if you know what happened, but Andrew Schulz and so very popular comedian. He had on Donald Trump as a guest on his podcast. Former president of the United States, maybe the future president of the United States. That is not okay in a lot of places. Listen to what happened to him.
So it was an awesome interview and everybody loved it. And then a day later, Dove was like, "Oh, by the way, the venue you're going to shoot your special in canceled your shows."
No, damn it! I
waited within 3 hours.
Doug, after we interviewed him, before the episode comes out, he goes to the venue. Everybody leaves. It's on Schultz's special team. All of them have to go to the venue, check it out. I assume everything is good.
People flew in for this.
Oh yeah. So we've had these venues locked in for months now, something like that. It's not like we might do it here. It's booked. It's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. We have the entire production team come out for this is for the third time many of us are spotting the venue and looking at everything. We have the set design already curated. We're moving around seating plots, camera plot. It's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. And we get an email 3.5 hours out. After discussing with our board members, we don't think that it would be, there's email, you'll bring it up, but don't show any emails off. But it was a BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, which is a venue they've shot tons of specials in. And 3.5 hours after the interview, they canceled shows. So, yeah, let's see if we can show the thing. Read the exact email, because they're canceling my shows, but they're also begging Live Nation to not cancel future shows with them. They still want business, but they're just not this guy. Now, I don't know if it's a Trump interview, but the day before it came out, we were ready to go and we were going on sale this week. And 3.5 hours afterwards, we get this email. Yeah. First off, I want to thank you for thinking of BAM for Andrew Schultz's upcoming comedy show. We are always excited when promoters consider our space for their events. After some internal discussions with leadership, it was decided that BAM is not the right fit for this show at this time. That said, we really do appreciate you reaching out. We'd love to work with you in the future and for future events that might be a better match for BAM. So if anybody has a venue, if you've got a venue for us, that'd be really great. I'd really love to shoot this special, and that'd be really awesome.
The irony is this is your most personal special.
Yes.
It's not as political as ever. It's you and your journey.
Yeah, but also what's interesting about it is that, again, they canceled it 3 hours after the interview came out. So before the liberal media spun it in liberals' favor. Yeah. So if they waited 2 days, they get the hero.
You're a darling
of the liberals.
You just got to send him. Be like,
So they canceled him for interviewing a former president and possible future president, and not because he looks like a 70s porn star. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Now, are we sure they didn't cancel because this is his most personal journey special?
I mean,
I'm gonna text him. That's why he's canceled right now, actually.
Don't you think they should be canceling him because it reminds everybody how much we miss Freddie Mercury, and not for and not for speaking to the next leader of the free world? I mean, come on. So here, now this is what the artistic directors for BAM look like. BAM announces artistic director of fall season lineup.
Is that leadership mentioned in the letter? I feel like they would never know anything about him, and somebody younger on the staff who still wears a COVID mask informed them.
Correct.
And they went, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention."
So I think
scissoring for 5 seconds to cancel.
They're smiling because they just canceled Andrew Schulz. I think that's
look at him. Look at him smirk.
I mean, you better be an international dance team spinning ribbons around to a pan flute if you want to get booked at that theater, I guess. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because an edgy comedian might accidentally nick one of those fragile moral hemophiliacs in the audience. Hey, here's the cast of their new show, Odd Couple, except in this storyline, they both 100% agree about everything. This is how the left plays the game, says Simon Van Dyke, ironically named. This guy, Tim Cavanaugh, had the funniest joke. He said Dick Van Dyke had his own show on American television, which is crazy considering that 2 out of the 3 words in his names are offensive to most Americans. What's the matter with Van? That was Tim Cavanaugh's joke. Great joke. Anyway, this is how the left plays the game. If you do anything, even having a conversation with someone they don't like, they don't agree with them, then they will turn you away and banish you from any space they control.
Yeah, it's called repressive tolerance. It's Marcuse, the neo-Marxist, not the Marxist, the neo-Marxist.
Yeah.
Because, so that's what you're supposed to do, is have a double standard and then do that kind of shit. And unless, of course, they're funding your entire life and whatever university you work at to say this shit, you'll be ignoring that their right-wing nonsense. You'll just take it out on things that don't matter, such as Andrew shooting his special there, which affects nothing other than him doing his special.
So I've been canceled by a couple of venues for my politics in Brooklyn. So we used to play at the Bell House in Brooklyn, and they loved us. We'd sell it out three nights in a row or whatever. And then they, after COVID, they just stopped returning they won't book us. They won't even acknowledge us.
I played that. Fuck that place. I mean, these are all
It's
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Not the Bell House, not Brooklyn.
It's Brooklyn. So that
no, they're pieces of shit. What do you think? Look, the whole alt scene and the whole BAM, BAM is a place where Steve Martin goes to not be funny and talk about art, and everybody's mad and wants their money back. That's what I remember BAM for the most.
Yeah.
Steve Martin will not be funny tonight. He will talk about a Rothko to you.
So
like you give a shit.
So that's what Brooklyn's become, right? It's become this woke. We just did a whole segment on how woke
gentrification.
How woke is there to make you talk about identity politics and cultural issues, so you don't come together as a group of people and oppose the oligarchy on economic issues. That's the whole point of wokeness. And it didn't start 5 minutes ago. It didn't start 20 years ago. It started after World War II.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of leftists that want to live the good life.
Yeah.
They want to live like the people they would condemn and want to seize the means from. So those things don't really go together. It's like a boutique item.
So here's another play. So in Chicago, Thalia Hall. We've played that place for years, sold it out, and then what happened? We debunked Russiagate, and we told the truth about COVID, and they don't want anything. They won't book us anymore in Chicago. That's my hometown. So Thalia Hall went all woke. And so then I tried to play this other place called the Den Theater in Chicago, which is a new venue, and it's a nice venue. A lot of people, I wanted to play there, right? And I was told, I know the person, one of the people in charge, I reached out to, and I said, hey, I'd like to shoot my special there. I heard good things about it. My friend Joe Bartnick is shooting his special there. They came back with, what I was told? Yeah, that's not going to happen. And I said, why? I'll sell it out. I sell a lot of tickets in Chicago.
They said it like that?
They said, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I said, why? I sell it out. I sell a lot of tickets. And they said, let me just put it this way, Jimmy. The word is they're not doing politics right now. That was what I was told. They're not doing politics right now. Really? A theater? First of all, all art is political. All art. Yeah. Even if you're someone who says, well, I don't talk about politics in my act, that's a political decision. So what you're doing is you have a platform to talk about the status quo, and you've chosen not to. So so you are tacitly endorsing if you went up in 1934 Germany and you talked about dating, that is a political act because you're not opposing the Nazi regime. That is, so you understand how you can't get away from it. You can't get away from being political.
This is why they're canceling Andrew, because of this shit. And that thing of you have to be in our paradigm no matter what. Okay, fine, maybe it is political, but I got a right to do whatever the fuck I want. I don't have to confront shit if I don't want. I might want to. If you fuck with me, then fuck you. That's always been my policy. So that thing, and this is where the left sucks ass. This is why I always hated leftists before Barry and then your show. is this shit where, sometimes I got to work all day. People will work all day and they want to be entertained. They don't want to deal with the nightmare going on outside. And always there's people that want to exercise their power. No, there's no escape from thinking about what I want you to think about.
Yes.
Okay, but you're right. It is a political act. But when people get this argument, they always leave out the part, you got a right to any fucking political act you want here, motherfucker, unless you're a fascist. So, unless they're fascists, that's why they don't want you having a right to.
Wokeness is very authoritarian, as we just talked about in our last segment.
No, they get conflated because people don't know politics, so they go, "I'm not political."
So the Den,
so they don't understand that when you say it's political. Do you see?
So the Den, which is a venue I'd still like to play, it's a great venue. A lot of my friends played, who are, by the way, just as controversial as me, except they don't know about it yet. The Den, this is their mission statement. It says, the Den Theater believes in the power of human connection. Our mission is to bring artists and audiences together in the spirit of respect, empathy, and community. Okay. We are a center for entertainment and artistic expression, providing a warm and diverse environment where everyone feels welcome. Well, no, you don't. No, not everyone. I wasn't welcome there. My audience isn't welcome there. The people who go against the status quo, who question COVID, who debunked Russiagate, who told the truth about Ukraine war, they're not welcome there. Why is that? Because so when you use words like everyone, you mean everyone who thinks like us. That's what you mean by everyone.
By the way, they gather and play.
Gather, play, create it.
Adult coloring books is what I'm imagining. A bunch of
That's a really long way of saying that they want their show calendar to look like MSNBC. But intercultural development statement, acknowledging that theater is inherently social and political. So if you already acknowledge that theater is inherently political, what do you mean you're not doing politics right now? Because that's what I was told. We're not doing.
I thought this was Schultz's spot. This is the one that told you we're not being political.
This is me. This is not BAM. This is me.
Oh.
This is the one I want. I still want to play there. In Chicago. When I go back to Chicago, I like play. I like Thalia Hall. They don't like my politics.
Well, yeah, I remember I got canceled in Asheville after I got media smeared back in years ago, and we saw what God did to them.
So they go acknowledging that theater is inherently social and political. We understand that we have a responsibility to actively develop a culture that is accessible and safe for patrons and artists to gather, play, create. We strive to develop a workforce that is at least as diverse as our community and to reflect Chicago's full spectrum of talent in the work that we invite to perform. We strive to develop a workforce that is at least as diverse as our community, as long as they all agree and comply with us entirely.
Isn't that an all-white area, by the way? I've been in Chicago. It's real starkly white or black in many places.
So yes, this is I think it's on Milwaukee Avenue. I would say majority white. We believe that art is stronger and more authentic when we welcome all voices from diverse backgrounds to contribute to the narrative. No, I don't think you do.
I don't think they even understand what they're saying there.
I don't think you do, because obviously my brand of politics, which by the way is the actual left. Wokeism is authoritarian and now it's censorious, which is fascistic.
Okay, they know what they're saying. They just don't believe what they're saying.
That's right.
This is what is called a tactic. Back when I had some Chicago know-nothings lecturing me on Facebook in the day, they told me this stupid shit. So the things they're saying, the reason it's infuriating is because they're on purpose saying an inversion of what they think.
Yes.
Because it's a tactic. They're the lowest shit in the world. You should never play the theater. You should have them banned from Jimmy Dore is what I think. And anybody that engages in it, that's why when that nothing club in Seattle that I'm not mad about, I just wanted to humiliate the chick that said that dumb email. And I showed her email. I didn't hide it to be professional, because when Schulz bring up Live Nation, is Live Nation going to still do business with them? If I was Schulz and Live Nation still worked with them, I go, well, I'm not with you no more. because somebody has to draw a line with this. That's why I love Tyler Fisher for having that lawsuit, because a bunch of dumb punk liberals are not gonna make any consequences for these people, and they should have them. They should permanently have a swastika carved in their head, like at the end of Inglourious Basterds, so they can't ever hide and pretend they didn't do this. Just like they do to people that voted for Trump.
We strive to curate a community where diversity is not only hardwired into the fabric of our organization, but that actively aspires to achieve, here it is, Kurt, equity.
Yeah, I can already see the chick with blue hair and a COVID mask type choosing the words carefully from how to lie about what I think class and try to... This shit's dying, so, I mean, it's fun to laugh at it now, but I'm no longer bewildered.
Let me just go back to this, where it says, we understand that we have a responsibility to actively develop a culture that is accessible and safe. What do you mean by safe? You mean like fire codes and wheelchair ramps? I don't think that's what they mean. They're talking about not having political perspectives that don't sound exactly like the voices in their head. So,
well, that could destroy society. If the voices in my head aren't in control, Jimmy. See, no, you're misunderstanding us. Here, I'll play Dingbat, who wrote this. Yeah, it's inherently social and political. So we get to vote, and we vote that we don't want your politics here.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So the empty skulled twit that wrote this, they have an answer to every part of this. And it doesn't make sense, or it's the same as the old corporation can do what they want. It's just like...
and so when they say, Kurt, when they say this, we strive to create a community where diversity is not only hardwired into... by diversity, they mean people who look different, not people who think different.
Right, the thing that counts the least, what you look like on the outside.
That's what this kind of woke shit is all about.
Well, by the way, if you're a scientific materialist, what you look like on the outside is the most important. So, and that's what they are. You know, the historic materialism, which a lot of Marxists will tell you they are, which is one of the dumbest fucking things I ever heard in my life. That's why they're shallow. It makes them shallow and moronic. Because they believe in material completely.
So here's the last paragraph I'll read to you from their mission statement. It says, we consider it a privilege to be part of the discussion in creating a more inclusive theater. Inclusive for who? No, you don't. We understand that this is a process and that we must be willing to listen to our community, accept our missteps, and always strive for growth and seen.
So they've been protested. They've been protested before. That's what that means.
That's what this means. They've been protested before because they booked somebody at their theater that some woke group of asswipes didn't like. And they
probably some in the shape, like some band, and another band was Jelly, and they're like, but their politics aren't good. I've seen a bunch of these people where like they like the thing, they have to look up your politics and where you grew up and shit, because if they accidentally like the wrong thing, they won't be able to sit at their lunch table.
I'm an actual lefty. I'm actually anti-war. I'm for bodily autonomy. I'm for unions and working people. And I'm for bringing people together on class issues and economic issues and not dividing them through identity politics. So the Den's mission statement is all about stressing identity politics. They're saying we're all about inclusion while blatantly doing the opposite.
Yeah, the identity politics thing. This reminds me of when I used to be in a doomsday cult, and I would get in theological arguments with people because we didn't believe in the Holy Trinity of the 3-in-1 God, which by the way is pagan as shit. There's nothing Christian about it, but also who gives a shit? Like, I don't care if you believe God has 3 heads or not. I really don't. How do you act? What do you actually do? Your beliefs inside your head where I don't live? Who gives a rat's ass? And now these people that look down on religion, now they have the same thing. Well, but your identity is the most important thing. There's no getting away from that. There's no getting out. There's nothing inside you that's more important than the thing. I mean, even you individually being a color doesn't matter as much as the group. If you're the color they would prefer to have there, and you don't have the right politics, you might as well be Jimmy Dore. You understand? Like it's really like just this absolute religious horseshit thing for people that have no religion, and that's why they say they want to feel seen. I don't feel seen.
Well, Carl Jung talks about this. Carl Jung talks about this in I think it's called An Unexamined Life. And he talks about how if you don't have a connection to the transcendent, if you don't have an experience, a firsthand experience of God, that you're going to invent one outside, and normally it's going to look like this.
If you invent it, that's original.
You'll turn science, just like people turn Fauci into a deity, and they turn science into a religion that can't be questioned.
Right. So people that are too stupid to read about science will do that.
Right. So
they do it to me, a guy that reads a lot.
So if you don't have an experience of the transcendent, you are going to create that because your psyche has a need for it. This is all according to Carl Jung, the greatest psychologist in history. And he talks about it in that whole book. It's all about how people set this up externally through the state, through the government. They worship government, state. They worship woke ideology, science, things like that. So that's what this is. This sounds like a religion, and it sounds like people who've been protested before, and now they're actually afraid of politics, and now they're actually afraid of inclusion and including ideas that actually challenge them, that go against them. That's what it's the exact opposite of what they claim to be. It's a very cowardly stance to take that's contradictory and authoritarian, which is fascistic. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.